Hey guys, just wanted to give my answers to the prompt questions. So, what do I think it means to be a social worker? I think it means fighting for injustices and mistreatment to all people, people who may be dealing with abuse, elderly, child abuse, homelessness, drug addiction, fighting for those people who need it the most. Our most vulnerable population may feel like they don't have anybody in their corner. So, being a social worker is just being in someone's corner and fighting for them against the mistreatment and injustices that they may be dealing with at that time. What do I believe social workers do? Uh, Protect the people who are most vulnerable, find solutions to solve problems in dealing with financial struggles, again, abuse, homelessness, addiction, things like that. Some social workers may help diagnose and diagnose and treat mental disorders, emotional issues, behavioral issues. At my place of employment, I see that. That's eventually what I would like to do. I would like to be a clinical, licensed social worker, and be able to help those people that need it the most. I truly believe that there is room for a social worker in almost every profession, not all, but most. There's room for us everywhere. And what characteristics should a social worker possess? The number one characteristic I believe is a good social worker should possess is empathy. Being able to put yourself in that person's shoes, and being able to put yourself in that spot can make you work harder for that person. It can make you go the extra mile. Even if you're kind of burnt out and maybe dealing with some compassion fatigue, just being able to empathize with that person. If you watched my introduction video, I'm a person in long-term recovery and I work in a drug and alcohol treatment facility full time, and me having that lived experience has really went far with my clients because they know, hey, like if she can do it, then I can do it as well. um, but with that being said, you don't have to experience the things that your clients may be experiencing, um, just to empathize with them. You should be able to communicate effectively so your words aren't misinterpreted. Um, and in my opinion, a good social worker should be able to practice self care. Some people don't believe in self care, but I truly do. Um, if your plane is crashing, if your plane is crashing, and I know you hear this all the time, but if your plane is crashing and you don't put your own mask on first, then while that plane is crashing, then your brain is lacking the oxygen that it needs to survive, and then you pass out, you're in the floor, and then you become part of the problem. And that's not what we're striving for. We're striving to help with the problem. So we want to take care of ourselves. Secondary trauma is a real thing, and when you hear so many bad things throughout the day, it can really take its toll on you. um, and if you don't practice proper self-care, you could burn out very quickly. And what knowledge and skills do I believe a social worker should possess? Active listening skills. Active listening skills. So your clients, you can build that rapport with them and you can build that trust with them. That's really important, that they know that you're actually listening and you're not just sitting there. And critical thinking skills are important, because you need to be able to think through problems critically. You may have one person, you may have multiple people that may be dealing with the same issue, but it's going to take multiple different solutions to the same problem, because what works for one person may not work for another person, and so on and so forth. So you really need to be able to think through critically. um, and this is really important, being able to set boundaries, good boundary setting. And some people could say that's a characteristic that you have, but I believe that that is a skill that you have to work on. Especially for myself, I had to really learn how to set those firm boundaries and be okay with setting those boundaries for myself. For instance, leaving your work phone on after hours. Of course, you want to help people if they are struggling and you're not there, or you're not on the clock, and it hurts your heart. And I know that everybody that's going into social work has to have a big heart. Um, but you have to take care of yourself. It's extremely important, to set those healthy boundaries. Turn your phone off. Whatever you do, set those boundaries with people, because sometimes, when people feel like you're the only person they have to reach out to you, they will reach out to you a lot. And, that's understandable. I get that, but you have to do that for yourself. I fully believe that you are able to help people the most when you are at your best. So definitely take care of yourself, because if you are emotionally and physically exhausted, you will not be able to help them as you should. So those are my answers. Thank you.